Hi, Crystal Balls. Just popping in real quick to put a trigger warning out. So I'm going to be talking about things that have just come to light about the Josh Duggar case. If you guys are sensitive to anything that is going on in this case, please don't go any further. It's completely understandable. We'll see you on the next video. But if you don't know what's going on, please Google that first. I don't want you guys to get triggered, but this is your trigger warning that this is going to contain some upsetting things. So I'll see you guys in a moment. Hi, Crystal Balls. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video today. If this is your first time here, welcome. Please think about sticking around, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. For everybody else, thank you so much for being on this journey with me. Really, hi, new subscribers. I really appreciate you guys too, as well as my Patreons. And I just want to take a moment to remind everybody to help other channels, help your small YouTube channels, but go ahead, Sunny's scratching, and moving the camera because she's Sunny. Go ahead and show support to small businesses and mom and pop places and other YouTubers, especially in December. We really need it. Know when you support a small business, you're probably supporting a family. So just putting all of that out there, and there are plenty of free ways to do that. So if you didn't get the trigger warning in the beginning of the video, please think about going forward with this video, because we are going to be talking about the Josh Duggar case and things that have come to light in the last 48 hours, as well as maybe what to expect coming in the next few days. So as of this recording, the jury has been selected, and there are 12 jurors and 4 alternatives ready to go tomorrow. Tomorrow is December 1st at the time of this recording, and that will begin the whole trial. The whole trial is estimated to last only 4 days. Now, I don't know if that is actually a realistic expectation, but I'm not a lawyer or a judge or anything like that. So I think with the amount of work that these people do and the amount of work that they've had to do in order to even get to this point, 4 days is probably reasonable. But I have a feeling it will be a little bit more than that. They're going to try to drag out this case because they're scared. And who do I mean scared? I mean, you know, the Duggar side. So prior to the trial actually starting, they have a pretrial, which also is trying to figure out what will be allowed in court and what won't. Now, I am not 100% certain on this because I've heard a couple different ways that any discretions that Josh Duggar did prior, which means what he did to his sisters and the babysitter, that was not going to be allowed in court. There was a lot of back and forth between this because this should show in the state's eyes or the Fed's eyes that there is a pattern of this type of behavior. But as bad of argument as this is, what he did and admittedly did so does not necessarily equate him being a person who enjoys child pee. So if that's the defense you've got to take in your life, that's pretty disgusting. Both of these things are horrific. It's horrific what happened to your sisters and your babysitter, or whoever the babysitter was, but it's even more horrific that this is the comparison that you have to make. And honestly, if I take a step back, I can kind of see that this does not equate this, even though it's disgusting. Now, it does show to me a pattern of child abuse, but it, you know what? It sucks. It sucks because if that's what you have to really boil down to about, yeah, it's terrible. It's disgusting. The whole situation is disgusting. So we also had Jim Bob Duggar take the stand yesterday. Now, Jim Bob Duggar is the father of all of these children, including Josh Duggar. And on the stand, he said he did not remember or recall any of the incidents. And he actually shot off to the judge, and the judge had to stop and remind him that he was the person being questioned, and they had to do, objections and things like that through the lawyers, not him. He was not in control there. So, that's bad enough. But the fact that Jim Bob Duggar completely denied any sort of memory of this entire time or any of this happening to his daughters, knowing anything that Josh did, even though his statements from several different places were read to him, he basically denied. I don't know why, outside of protecting his sons, that he did this, his son. Because you are a disgusting, vile person, Jim Bob Duggar, just to let you know. And he's also running for Senate, so people who live in that state, watch out. Because if this guy can't remember situations that are this huge, that had to do with his own family, that were widely publicized, then I don't think he's well enough to be a senator. Don't you think he looks tired? Because he seriously has to have some sort of medical or mental impairment in order to not remember those things, but recall other things with crystal clear detail. I'm worried that Jim Bob Duggar may have had some sort of stroke or other sort of medical issue, because that's the only explanation, right? He wouldn't be protecting his son. He wouldn't be completely downgrading his daughter's experience, right? I mean, that's beyond shitty. It's disgusting. So another person that was brought to the stand, I can't remember her name for sure. I believe it was Bobby. This was actually intended to be Josh Duggar's mother-in-law. She was supposed to be a person in his life. Now, you're going to say, hey, Lisa, married Anna, not this girl. There's no Bobby. Right. You want to know why? Because of this whole situation. So Josh was courting her daughter, and the parents were even like, yeah, no, let's not do this. He asked for her hand in marriage, and Dad said no. He was like, nope, we're not gonna do this. So Josh went to Bobby and confessed multitudes of things that he had done, including admitting that our rhymes with tape happened. Now, the reason they're trying to get this all thrown out is because they were trying to say that this was something that was confessed to a clergy. And there is a protection for clergy if there is a confession. But Bobby made it abundantly clear that women in this church have no power. They don't have any sort of ability to act as a clergy person or anything on behalf of the church. So that was a complete sham. And I'm glad that she was there, even as an uncomfortable situation that she was put in, because, guys, that had to be uncomfortable. She did take the stand and tell the truth and was applauded that Jim Bob Duggar was doing what he did. And Jim Bob Duggar and Michelle Duggar were the people that were pushing the narrative that this woman, Bobby, was taking almost like a confession. No, it wasn't like that. Did he do some sort of confessing to her? Yeah, but not within the confines of any sort of confession that had to do with church. They were at home. Actually, he was at her house, and he was staying there for a short amount of time. But this is a big deal. That after all of these years, it has been admitted in court and not denied that this whole thing took place. And because of Jim Bob Duggar being such a slouch as a parent and as a human being, and the judge called him, he said his answers were garbled. That came out today. Jill Duggar is now on the list of witnesses. Now, Jill Duggar is a victim, and she is one of the sisters that this happened. So they have Jane Doe's 1 through 4. People are assuming that she's Jane Doe number 1. She is identified as the person who punched Josh Duggar when one of these attempts happened. Now, Jill Duggar is the only one in the family who has admitted everything. Now, again, I don't agree with these poor girls being outed. The other person never has been, but the Duggars have. They've been outed, and now they have to relive their abuse when they never got help for it in the beginning. They were forced to not only live in the same house, but work with their brother, their abuser. Forced to do that because Jim Bob had all of the contracts. And I've gone over that before, but Jim Bob basically owns his children. And Jill Duggar never wanted to do counting on. This poor girl. You know, no matter what you think of her, and I don't have a high opinion of her as a person because of being very homophobic, but I can sympathize as a victim, and I can sympathize as a human being, and she needs, the thing is, she can approve on being a homophobic. She can't change the fact that she was a victim. She can do something about it, which the thing is, that's what she's been doing. She's cut herself off from the family. She's sued her parents. She's gone off of counting on. She's gone off of all the Duggar specials. See, their wedding special was just supposed to be a single event. So her and her husband's wedding special was supposed to be a singular event, and that's it. Jim Bob Duggar manipulated the contract into counting on. And since she already had a signature there, that's it. You realize that these kids have no rights. They are reality show stars. Reality show stars, children, minors, have no rights at all. They're not child actors. There is no union to help them. I mean, child actors are, abused in many, many other ways, including this, but at least there's an illusion of some sort of safety going on. These kids could film up to 20 hours a day when they were little, when they were children. And the fact is, most of these kids don't have real life experience, so they're dependent on their father, who holds the purse strings. Most of these kids have never got paid for any of their stuff. Jim Bob Duggar, like I said in another video, said that everything that these kids were doing was volunteering for mission work. You used your children, you asshole. You basically you've groomed them. You've groomed your children, you sick jerk. I feel like the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree when it comes to what you may have in common with your son. And what kind of sick person are you to deny your daughters any sort of help, any sort of acknowledgement, any sort of counseling or anything, or allowing them to stop filming when this all came out? It's sick. A lot of people think that this case is going to move forward and there's going to be an appeal process that happens and this is going to be in the court systems for years. It could happen. But just kind of looking at what happens with federal cases, they do have a short amount of time where they can appeal. So it's about 30 days in their state. Now, every state is different, but the overwhelming statistic of anybody actually winning their appeal case throughout the United States is only about 20%. And I got that off of a bar site. I'll link that into the description. But yeah, 20%. And this appeals process can take anywhere from 30 days to 2 years. So it only costs, okay, I'm not going to say it only costs, but when you're talking about Duggar money, it only costs $500 to do an appeal. Now, it's not going to just automatically go to an appeal because you put up an appeal. This is a place where you have, I think it's the judges of 3 or judges of 4, however they say it, where these judges have to sit down and actually see if there was any misconduct or anything that went wrong in this trial, period, to warrant another trial. And if they decide that no, this doesn't warrant an appeal, that's it. It doesn't go any further. The lawyer or the law is of that court. So this particular court who says no, you're done, that's where it stays. I have a feeling that this is going to be appealed and they're going to pass it, and this is going to be caught up in courts for a few years. This is disgusting to me. I mean, you know, when it comes to children, especially when it comes to child P, especially what he had. Now, there's more and more information coming out about what he had on his laptop. He had well over 200 images, including movies of children, toddlers. Remember, he has toddlers at home. Has a new baby. He shouldn't be rotting in jail. He should be burning in hell, as far as I care. But he should be castrized, or whatever they call it. You know, chemical castrize this guy. He shouldn't. Oh. It's vile. It's disgusting. He's a horrible human being. And when it comes to kids, you are guilty until proven innocent. Now, I know in the United States you're innocent until proven guilty, but not when it comes to kids. You know, especially, you know, a lot of us who have, you know, certain types of instances where we work with children, you are automatically guilty until you're proven innocent. That's the type of world that we live in, and I'm okay with that. So if something were happen to anything in any organization and somebody was accused of something, the adult would be automatically taken out. until an investigation happened, but you're guilty until you're proven innocent, because you don't want to have the reality of the situation of, if there is an adult who is actively hurting a child, to continually to have access to that kid or other kids. So yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I don't mind that at all. Other people might, but I don't. I know me. I know what I signed up for, and I know that, I know. I'm a child advocate. I don't play around with this shit. Nobody else should. But here's Jim Bob treating it like a circus. Now, I don't know for sure if this is something because it was like a pre-trial situation, but he was under oath that he couldn't perjure himself. Meaning, I don't know if he could have invoked the Fifth Amendment right at that point, but he still was under oath. I don't know. But that probably would have made more sense than him just saying, I don't know, I don't know. The guy's trying not to incriminate himself. And I just have a feeling that there's a lot more going on with Jim Bob Duggar and the types of things that I know he's done to his children, just in general, just being basically, laboring them until they were begging to get out of things, or, being abused and him allowing it to continue to happen in the home. There's something very wrong with him. But he's running for senator. Again, just so you guys know, he's completely competent, a good father, a good husband, and doesn't lie, and actually takes the word of his Lord very seriously, because, he put his hand on a Bible and was under oath. And he said he didn't remember any of that stuff. So we gotta trust him, right? It just really rubbed me the wrong way. Really did. I think Anna Duggar is scared right now. It's very, very hard for me to really feel sorry for her. But I have to keep in mind that she's a victim of this world. And it is very easy to say that a woman should know the difference between right and wrong. She's a grown woman. She should know. But in her hierarchy, in her cult that they're in, this is not a church, this is a cult. I know I've told you that before, but this is a cult. In their cult, she's doing the correct thing, which is the umbrella of the family is God, husband, wife, children, community, blah. So she's obeying her husband to the point where she's abandoned some of her children. And she just had her 7th baby. And there is some suspect evidence that Josh Duggar was at a wedding around his sisters and other children that he should not be around. Now, that hasn't been proven as of today, but I mean, that's gross. He cannot be around his sisters or his younger siblings. He shouldn't be around any child. He can have visitation with his children supervised. But Anna Duggar has been doing the correct thing according to her cult, that she supports her husband no matter what. I would like to think that somebody has more common sense and someone has the ability to reason, but I can't say that she does. This is all she's known. This is the only world she's ever grown up in. And she doesn't have an outside education. That's the other thing about this family, this cult, this whole cult, that they keep their children uneducated and dependent on a family system like the Duggars. And it's abuse, plain and simple. This Anna Duggar probably has the mentality of a child. And I'm not trying to be judgy or anything like that. I am making an assumption based off of the fact that her actions are showing that she is immature. But also it shows me that she was not given the opportunity to understand a life outside of her cult. Now, there is a point where, there's reasonable swing to see, she has to understand that something is wrong. But at the same time, she's told to obey your husband, and he's the be all and end all. And, if he says that nothing happened, then nothing happened, even though there's proof. This is the thing. They're not really deciding if this was done. It was done. They're trying to decide how big of a punishment this kid's gonna need. I mean, obviously there's gonna be a court case and see if what happened, but knowing what on my end, how long this stuff takes, and what these officers and what the feds and what everybody had to cooperate in order to make this arrest happen. This doesn't happen overnight. This is a big situation, and they do not want to make mistakes. And trust me, this is difficult enough. And I don't think anybody needs to go off on any of the police officers or agents or anybody else who cooperated in this whole situation, because they had to be there. They didn't want to be there. Nobody wanted this to happen. But they had to be, because of a crime that was committed multiple times in a very vile and disgusting way. Very, very vile crime. So they had to investigate. They did their jobs. They didn't know that they were going after a Duggar, and it shouldn't matter. It doesn't. This is just going to be a microcosm of things that you're going to see about things like this situation happening more and more. You're going to see a lot of big names eventually. But again, I beg you not to fall into the trap of thinking that this only happens to people who have money. Okay, the Duggars did not have money at this time. I also don't want you to fall into the trap of thinking that this doesn't happen in your neighborhood, in your schools, in your, parks, in your life. It happens. I hope that the good that comes out of this situation is there's a voice for those victims. I hope that those children are found, because I hope those children are found. I hope that this is a bigger topic. I hope that YouTube will allow us to talk more about it. If not, I'm gonna have to just do all this on Patreon. I do have a couple of other videos on Patreon where I'm completely saying the words and not trying to be careful, and giving you a little bit more of my expertise in the situation, because, it's kind of a big deal. And I think we should be able to use the actual words without getting flagged. And that's a problem with YouTube. But they have their operational, code of ethics and things like that, just like anything else does. And I'm using this platform, but I get it. I get it. It just sucks some days. And like, this is one of the days when it sucks, when you want to look at the camera and tell what exactly he did and what is happening to those children. Is anybody stopped and asked what happened to those children? That those images, those movies, what happened to those kids? It's not really talked about. I'll probably do a Patreon on that. So if you guys want to join my Patreon, you can do as little as $1 a month. Try it out for a month. Um, yeah, I'm gonna close this here. Before I go, there wasn't really a good place to put this in, but hey, if you guys have not tried audible.com yet and you need an escape from a horrible story like this, go and look at my affiliate program down in the description box. Go and pick yourself out a book. Happy book, funny book, whatever. And use the trial. It's a free trial. You guys are under no obligation to purchase anything. And during your free trial, you get one selection. You get to keep that selection. You also have the chance to listen to a whole bunch of podcasts, including mine. And they are updating their libraries every single day. So there are exclusives to Amazon. Or I'm sorry, yeah, exclusives to Amazon. Exclusives to Audible that you won't get anywhere else. So yeah, this is like an affiliate situation, but go down to the description box, go join. You don't have to, you don't have to stay if you don't like it. I think you're going to. I would like to recommend to you, what else am I listening? I'm still listening to Sandman. That's a long book, but I'm really, really happy. The next book I really want to get is, I want to get Interview with the Vampire again. I used to have a physical copy of it, but it's gone. So that's probably what I'm going to get next because that series is going to be on AMC soon. I'm really stoked about that. All right, so I'm closing up this video and thanking you guys for everything. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for those who come and comment. Thank you for the new people who have been showing up on my YouTube page. Hello, if you guys are not subscribed yet, please do so, but don't forget to spread the love, guys. We have plenty of people out here who need help with small businesses and things like that. Let's send them love, send them love, send them love. All right, everybody, you have a great day or night wherever you are in this world. Remember, every single day is a gift. Use your time wisely. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.